extra name. I'm the Associate Dean of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences, and I will be facilitating this evening's training with some other help from other academic deans. So I'm going to start recording because I always forget. You will be asked, and I'm doing this for people that could not attend, so you will be asked if it's okay for me to record.
I just said it while you were talking, so
Thank you. So is it recording?
that's what the upper corner says, but I
See,
mean,
look at
can we
that. This
really
is why
trust it?
this is why this is why I have help. All right, so let's get started. Maybe if my computer wants to work with me and change the slide. There we go. All right, so getting to know you, we're going to go around. If you could introduce your name, what you are teaching, and are you teaching online / blended or in person / hybrid? And if you don't know what blended and hybrid are, you're probably not teaching it, but we're going to teach you this evening what that means. So let's get started. We'll start with academic deans and special guest first. Patrick, I'm going to go to you.
I'm Patrick Grubbs. I'm teaching history. I'm teaching online this fall semester. I'm teaching 2 accelerated courses of U.S. History 1.
Thank you very much. And I should say I'm teaching online this semester, and I'm teaching Communication 101, which is an introduction to communication class. Next, I will ask Iris to introduce herself. I think she's on. You might be muted, Iris. All right, we'll put a pin in Iris. Robin. Okay, so we got some problems here with some audio. Spring is our special guest. We'll have Spring introduce herself. Oh, Robin's coming back.
Hi, everybody. My name is Spring Shank. I teach in person, Intro to Comm and some other comm electives there. I'm also the Gateway Coordinator, so thankfully I was happy to meet some of you already. It's great to have you.
And Spring's going to help later on when we get into breakout rooms. Robin, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm on. Okay. Hi, I'm Robin Watson. I am the Associate Dean for the School of Health Professions and Science, and I've been with Northampton as an adjunct since 2016, as well as this new role.
Welcome, Robin. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And Iris, I see you're in your mobile office. Would you like to introduce yourself, or you want me to introduce? You got it? There we go.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
So I apologize, there was a lot more traffic than expected. My name is Iris Espinosa. I'm the Assistant Dean for AHSS, and I am also the Assistant Dean for BNI. Welcome. We're really excited to have all of you, and we're looking forward to seeing you more often.
Thank you. All right, so it's just easier for me instead of taking volunteers. I'm going to run down my list and ask people to introduce themselves. Caleb, you are up first.
Awesome. Hey everyone, my name is Caleb Lamont. I am teaching online classes in communication.
Awesome. Thank you and welcome.
Happy to be here.
Lisa.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Lisa Stefanelli. I am teaching 2D design. I'm an artist.
And you're teaching in person.
And I'm teaching in person. Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Carmen.
Hello, everyone. I am Carmen Cespedes, and I will be teaching Spanish in person.
Hola. I know a little bit more, but not much. That's about as best I can do right now. All right. Welcome. Chris.
My name is Chris Wharton. I'll be teaching Architectural Graphics 1, and that'll be in person.
All right. Thank you. Haley.
Hi, I'm a teaching fellow. I'll be teaching English 101 in person.
Fantastic. Welcome. Jeff. Jeff, you're on mute. All right, we will skip Jeff, come back. John.
Hey, Allison. Hey, Spring. How are you? My name is John Grillis. I will be teaching in person Con 101 on Monday and Tuesday evenings.
Awesome. Thank you. Joseph.
Yes, I'm Joseph O'Neill. I'll be teaching drawing one in person.
All right, thank you. Lewis.
Hello everyone. My name is Louis Cristillo. I'm teaching principles of sociology, and it's a hybrid course. So I'll be on campus 1 day a week, and the rest of the course is asynchronous.
Awesome. I'll have you teach that part when we get to it. Mark.
Hi, my name's Mark. I'll be teaching classes in person.
And Mark will also be teaching at a vocational high school, a class as well. So we're excited about
Oh,
it.
yes. In person.
In person. Mary Grace.
Hi, I'm Mary Grace. I will be teaching Introduction to Political Science in person this semester.
Right, welcome. Renisha.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, my name is Ranisha Shepherd, and I will be teaching communication, a public speaking class online.
All right, thank you and welcome. Mason.
Good evening. My name is Mason Smith. I'll be teaching journalism and society in person.
All right, thank you. Will.
Hi, my name is Will Carreri, and I'll be teaching Introduction to Communication in person.
So we have a lot of introduction to communication faculty coming on board in the fall, so welcome. And I have one more last name Blavo. I'm sorry, it says S, and I forgot what it was. I'm so sorry.
I apologize. It's Selassie, and I need to change that. My name is Selassie Blavo, and I'll be teaching chemistry in person.
Wow, fantastic. Did I miss anybody? I think I got everybody. I hope so. All right. Well, again, welcome. We're going to go through what the agenda is going to be, and we'll get started. All right. So we did our introduction, so that's great. We're going to talk about administrative tasks, your adjunct support, what the fall 2025 modalities are, keys to success, evaluations, and what that's all about. We're going to break out into breakout groups, again, with online, blended, and then hybrid in person, and we'll review your first week. We'll come back and talk about sources of information, and then we're also going to talk about what's next, and then any Q&A. Now, as we're going through it, I will stop to see if there are questions. You can also put questions in the chat. Patrick is going to be monitoring. He's the chat Vanna today, so he will be monitoring that, and we will try to get your answers to your questions as best as we can. And if not, we might direct you to your direct supervisor. So let's talk about administrative tasks. So first and foremost, you're going to need to get an NCC ID and a parking pass. Patrick's going to put in the chat the links to do that. You have to have an NCC or Northampton email address before you can do either one. So some of you have just been hired, maybe last week. I know a few of you were hired this week, so you don't have a Northampton email address yet. Once you do, you will then be assigned to a class. You'll have your Brightspace course, but then that's when you can do your NCC ID and parking pass. Patrick's going to put those links below. The next thing you need to make sure you do is that you upload your syllabus in Brightspace by Wednesday, August 20th. Now, classes technically start August the 23rd, which, yes, is a Saturday. We do have Saturday classes. Most of you will be starting on Monday the 25th or during that week. The reason we ask that the syllabus is uploaded early is a couple of things. Number one, students have access to their Brightspace course 3 days before classes start. So we don't want them to go in and see nothing and then email us and say, there's nothing in my class. Not that there needs to be any assignments, but at least there needs to be the syllabus, how to get in contact with you, and maybe a little welcome message. So just make sure that that is ready to go on August 20th. The other reason we have that is that we get a report on who doesn't have their syllabus uploaded. Because again, that's really important. When we see the syllabus is up there in Brightspace, then we know you are ready. You need to set office hours. Rule of thumb is for every 3 credit class, you need to have 1 office hour. So if you're in person, we prefer you have an in-person office hour. That can be an hour before class, hour after class, depending on your schedule. You could do 30 minutes before, 30 minutes after. Those office hours can be held on campus in the adjunct offices. We'll talk about where those are. If you're online, you will do Zoom office hours, and we're going to show everyone how to set up Zoom, because if you're in person, you might want to have Zoom office hours as well, or at least a way, if students can't meet you in office hours, then you make up another time with them that they can meet with you, and that might be best on Zoom. Okay, I think that's it. All right, so Patrick, Iris, Robin, anything to add? Okay, good. Okay. All right, so next we have, yes. All right, so next we have, you're going to have access to the class roster in Workday, not until the 23rd. Unfortunately, the way that our system works is your first day of your job at NCC is actually August 23rd. And that's when you'll be able to see the class roster in Workday. Moving forward, if you continue to teach with us in the spring, in the summer, in the fall, you will have access to a class roster as soon as you have been assigned a class. It's just this first semester gets a little wonky. We want you to compare that roster to your gradebook and Brightspace. They should have the same names in them. If you don't mind waiting to the 23rd just to double check, that would be great. If not, reach out to your direct supervisor and we can send you a class roster. The other thing that's really important, obviously, is grades. That's what students are here, is to get grades and perhaps move on to a 4-year or move on into the workforce. The first thing that's going to come up is called the verification of participation. You will get emails about these to remind you. The verification of participation is linked to financial aid. So if you don't submit this, number one, you get put on the naughty list, and then we all have to contact the people on the naughty list. But number two, that's holding back financial aid money for students, and we really don't want that to happen. The least amount of obstacles, the better our students can be successful. So that verification of participation, what does that mean? Well, if you're an in-person class, are they coming to class, engaging, and maybe have had at least an assignment? This happens in the second week of classes. So you should have had at least one assignment that they've done. So they've participated. If you're online, that they again have completed an assignment or two. If they've done nothing, if they've not shown up, then when you fill your verification of participation out, you would mark that they did not do that. We also will have a midterm grade check, and then of course final grades. Midterm is typically that they're successful or unsuccessful, like an S or a U you can put. There are also places to put notes. So what does that mean? What does an S and what does a U mean? Depending on your school, and again, talk to your direct supervisor or other people that perhaps teach your class. For COM 101, it is a gateway course. It won't transfer with a C-. They would have to take it again. So if anyone has below a C in my class, I would mark them as a U, and in the notes, perhaps put some things that they could make up for a late grade. And then everyone else would get an S for a C and up. And then, of course, final grades. There's also a due date for that. So you will get an email. So we'll talk about checking emails. Very, very important that these get put in. And this is all done in Workday. And I will show you where to find that in just a minute. The next type of report and administrative task we have are the Starfish progress reports. Starfish is our platform for student retention and making sure that they're being successful. So this is a place where you'll get an email putting in a progress report, like how are they doing? I love putting in like great job, very engaged. Students really appreciate getting the kudos, and then those that maybe have missed some assignments, or they maybe missed a few classes, putting those notes in. The students see the notes, so please make sure that you are typing and writing things appropriate, and also letting them know what perhaps they can do to move forward. There are also places on this report where you can recommend the Learning Center or an academic coach. Our academic coaches are part of the Learning Center. They help students with time management. We have many students that have sometimes full-time jobs, part-time jobs, helping with the family, raising a family, lots of things going on. And so they might need some help with that academic coaching. There are also places for if they're having some technical issues. Brightspace is new. We did have a pilot in the spring, so some of us did teach out of Brightspace last spring, but it was open for everyone June 1st. So those instructors and students that had summer classes, they're familiar with it, but the majority of our students will not be familiar with Brightspace. So have a little grace, a little empathy, but if you see that someone's really struggling, you can recommend that they get some technology support. Now, when you mark these recommendations, those will go to the department that it needs to go to. They will then reach out to the student and offer services. It's up to the student to then respond. Some don't. So don't think that you're doing it for naught and the student isn't making any changes. It puts the wheels in motion, and then again, it's on the student to really follow through. And then last but not least, administrative tasks is class cancellations. We have two types of class cancellations. The first one is we have snow. I hope we get a lot of snow this winter, not because I want to be out of school, but I really don't like this weather and I really like snow. So class cancellations, you will know that the class is canceled. Number one, it's on our website. There'll be a big banner that classes are canceled. Sometimes they're only canceled at Pocono. They tend to get snow before Bethlehem. It'll be both campuses, or there might be a delay in the start or an early dismissal, if you will. You can also sign up to get messages. So I get a text message on my phone, so I know if school is closed. So the other class cancellation is life happens. We get sick. We have family members that get sick. Something might have happened. And so sometimes you have to cancel class maybe the day of. So there are three things that you need to make sure you do when you cancel class. Number one is reach out to your direct supervisor, letting them know you're not holding class. Number two is making sure that you reach out to your students. You can use Brightspace announcements. It will then be posted in Brightspace, but it also will send them an email letting them know that class is canceled for that day. And maybe you have an assignment for them to work on to kind of make up that time. And the third thing is a class cancellation form. Pretty easy to fill out, but when you do this, that class then is posted on our website as being canceled for the day. So the reason we do this is number one, we don't want students driving. Some of them drive pretty far. I have a 45-minute drive. So if I was a student and I went to one class and it was canceled, I would not be happy. So making sure that they are well aware and enough time as possible that class is canceled. Not that this has ever happened since I've been at the school, but if there was some sort of fire or evacuation of the school and you haven't told your direct supervisor that you weren't having class, we're looking for you and we're looking for your students. So we just want to make sure where everyone is, we're not trying to be big brother. We're just trying to keep everybody safe. Deans, did I miss anything or anything to add on that?
Nope, so far so good.
All right, so I'm actually going to exit out of this, hopefully. Oops. And I'm going to go into Workday to show you how to do the grades and stuff. Can you see my Workday screen, Patrick?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, good. All right. So when you go into Workday, your Workday is not going to look like this. You want to make sure you go into your menu and you're going to scroll down until you find teaching. So under teaching and advising on the left-hand side, you're going to click on teaching. This is where under instructor activities, you're going to view your teaching schedule. So I can click on that and it's going to ask me what academic period. So I can put future period and it's going to show me my 2 classes that I'm teaching in the fall. It'll also have the course section roster. You're going to have to click more. I get a lot of emails. I can't find, where to verify participation. You have to click the little more button. This is where you're going to verify participation for your course section. I'll list all of your students, and it really is just a Y or an N. Sometimes students get withdrawn from a class, whether it's because perhaps they didn't pay, but then they paid and they want to get back in your class. There have been a glitch here or two where students were withdrawn, or maybe you withdrew them because they weren't attending and they begged their way back in. So you can request a student reinstatement back into your class. This is where you'll assign final grades. And if you need to withdraw a student for whatever reason, this is where you would request an enforced withdraw for a student. You need to make sure that you have their student ID number and the date that they last attended in person or last turned in an assignment, let's say for online. So just wanted to show you where that was in Workday. Okay. All right, so back to the show. I want to make sure that I'm on the right one. All right, so adjunct support. We have really technically 3 adjunct suites. One is in Bethlehem in College Center 270, that's the second floor. And in the Pocono campus, there are 2, CAP 121 and CAP 102. One's a little smaller, one's a little larger. This is your space there are computers in there, there are printers, so you can print things, make copies. This is where you'll find expo markers if you need, pencils, pens, if you need notebooks. There'll be some filing cabinets if you need to lock things up, keep your stuff on campus. You just have to bring a lock and you can put them there. It's okay to make copies if you have maybe just one class or a small class, but if you need to make more copies or it's a lot of copies, we ask you to use our central duplicating center. And I'm going to show you later how to find that. Adjunct suites are also a great place to meet students and have meetings with them. So that is a good place, to let your students know, maybe if that's where you're going to hold your office hours, you can do that. Center for Learning and Technology, we call that the CTLC. Nobody calls it the Center for Technology and Learning Technology. It's the CTLT, so that's what you need to remember. We have 2. Bethlehem campus is College Center 290. It's really right down the hallway from the adjunct suite. And then the Pocono campus, it's in CAP 11. This is a great place to meet other instructors full-time and adjuncts. They put on lots of different workshops. They'll have like kind of a coffee and a chat time where people come in, share ideas, maybe talk about some issues they're having in the class. But they really run a lot of professional development for all instructors across the board at NCC. It's also a place where students are not allowed. So if you just need to get away, you don't want to eat in the cafeteria, come on into the CTLT, sit down on the sofa, grab a bite to eat, and talk to some colleagues. And then, of course, you've got us, academic deans. We've already introduced ourselves, so we are also your support.
Hey, Allison.
Yes.
The adjunct suites are also really good places to meet other adjuncts too. Get to know other people because sometimes you might feel a little isolated. So it's kind of cool just to hang out and say, hey, who are you? I am somebody, and just kind of share what's going on in your day.
Very good point. Thank you, Robin. When I was an adjunct, I was able to meet with the other 2 adjuncts that were hired at the same time as me. And so it was really nice to kind of talk through like what was going on in our classes and be supportive. But yeah, just meeting instructors from other disciplines and programs, it is a great place to meet. All right, more adjunct support. So again, we are now in Brightspace. So Brightspace support is going to be helpdesk@northampton.edu. So if you have an issue with Brightspace, maybe things are missing, you're having trouble like with anything like technology wise, you're going to email helpdesk and they'll put in a ticket and then reach out and try to get it resolved. We also have our IT department. So I put the phone number there and the extension. This is for both campuses. This is if perhaps in the classroom, the projector isn't working, the computer's not turning on, like something's wrong, you can call them. And I put the full phone number because sometimes we have tech issues and we're not in a classroom with an NCC phone. So it's important to put those in your phone. And then again, extension 5413 or the email address. Public safety, I don't have very many issues in the classroom, but if you feel that there's some sort of threat, please call public safety. Again, the extension is 5588. Pocono is 1911. There are phones in all of the classrooms, or put them in your, I say put them in your phone because every once in a while, you're going to get to your room and the door is locked. It's one of those push, the doorknobs are like a push. And so sometimes when people leave the classroom, they accidentally push that button and then the door locks. So we don't have phones outside of the classroom. So just calling them real quick, and then someone from public safety will come and unlock the door for you. And then we have secretarial support. So Andrew Biondo is in Arts, Humanities, Social Sciences. Diane Bellis is in Business and Industry. Karen Green is going to take care of all the Pocono campus people. And then Jackie Bear is HPS. Those are people you want to reach out to if you need books. They also be the ones that are going to be sending you contracts. So if you see an email from one of these people, it's really important to open it and read it because they're giving you important information and most likely have to do with you getting paid, and we want you to get paid. Deans, any ads?
The only two I'll say are just to reiterate your two last points here. Put public safety's phone number in your phone. It's just, you should have that in your phone. You should be able to access it at a moment's notice. Please do so.
Yeah.
Second thing is, yes, while you'll get plenty of emails from me, I oversee the ARC, and you'll figure out what the ARC is soon. I'm sending an email tomorrow. I send stuff, we all send stuff through our secretaries and say, hey, send this out to the faculty teaching mid-start, teaching the accelerated, teaching high, and so memorize these names and, make sure that you're responding to their emails. Like, I just get to know them, come up to the offices, get to know them, talk to them, but please respond to their emails. So I'm just reiterating 2 points there that Allison, you made.
Thank you. And are there any questions in the chat that we need to address?
Just another thing on public safety. I know at Pocono, the phones have a panic button on them. So haven't had to use it, don't plan on using it, don't want to use it, but just in case, there's a panic button on the phone.
Yeah, so funny story. My first day as a full-time temp, I had my office. I was so excited. I wanted to set up my voicemail, and I pushed the wrong button, and I did push the panic button, and I will tell everyone it works. And not only does it work, you cannot leave your area until they come to make sure that you're okay, even though I told them it was an accident. So I walk into my first class a few minutes late and had to tell them the story that I pushed the panic button and it works. So that's good news.
And we're not trying to alarm you all, by the way, and say that it's always going to be but there's just you're locked out of your classroom. Sometimes once again, you just want to be safe. The lights in the parking lot went out one March, right? And you can have somebody walk you to your car. There were a couple incidents last year where students had issues, like a seizure in the hallway, and someone needed to contact public safety, and so it's just good sense, right? As a father, right? I'll give you the disappointed dad. Like, if you don't put it in your phone, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. So.
That's worse than mad.
Yeah, it is. Thank you, Patrick. Yeah, we just have some things that pop up. Yeah, so just important to have it in there, just in case. All right, let's talk about modalities. We technically have 5. We're not going to talk about the 5th one unless Patrick is itching to do so. So first we have in person. These are required classes. Students attend class on person. 100% is on campus, face-to-face. There are scheduled days and scheduled times. Write this down, what is in bold. So every classroom has a computer and some sort of projector, so you can show slides and videos and all those types of things. You will have a login, when you log into, Brightspace or Workday, but that's not the same for the computer. So the computer, the username is teacher, all lowercase, and the password is danger 5413. And that 5413 should look familiar because that is the extension to public safety. I think that's what it was, or information. Maybe it's the help desk. Anyway, there's a reason for that. Write that danger 5413, put it in your phone, put it in a notebook. There have been times when I was out of the classroom for a while, maybe it was a summer. I got into the classroom and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot what the password is. I know it's danger, but I don't remember the order of the numbers. So that is how you log in. If there's an issue, you're doing this, this is when you reach out to IT and hopefully they can get into your classroom and make any fixes. So that is in person. Online is no required class time per se, right? So it's 100% asynchronous online. They should have weekly deadlines, but there's no scheduled class time. There's participation in regular online instructional activities is required. So they need to be doing things weekly. They cannot just be in the class, do nothing until the last 2 weeks and then get all their assignments done. That's not how our online classes work. We are very engaged with our students at all times. So we need to make sure that they are being engaged weekly. Blended is a cross between it's like online and in-person-ish. So they are meeting at a scheduled time, and it is 100% on time, but they're meeting via Zoom. So it might be Mondays at 2 o'clock, the class meets on Zoom, and then the rest of the week they have instructional activities to do in Brightspace. Students must attend the Zoom meetings. They can't just do the online stuff. I get questions like this all the time. I have a student who works and they can't come to Zoom, but they can get everything else. They're doing really great. Can we do that? No. They chose to take the blended class. They need to be attending that blended class. If you have other issues about that, again, go to your direct supervisor for help with specific student issues. Next, we have hybrid, and this is a split learning between face-to-face and online. So they will meet 50% on campus and 50% online. They will come to campus at least 1 day a week, and it might be in the evening, it might be Wednesdays at 6 o'clock, and then again, the rest will be online. Same questions come up. I have a student that works, they can't come in person, but they've been doing everything online. No, they chose this class. They need to be there in person. That is half of the class that they are missing. So those are the four major modalities that we have. I don't know, Patrick, if you want to talk about high flex, that I don't think anyone is teaching, but just to let them know if someone asks.
Yeah, so for the next 4 hours, I will go through every aspect of, no, I'm joking. Yeah, so I'm actually, you guys will learn more about this. If you haven't received the emails already, we do a summer training every single summer where we do these short videos, professional development training videos. And two of the ones that I did this summer, the one is understanding our expectations for hybrid courses. And so for those of you teaching hybrid, I'm going to ask you to watch it, right? So that you have an idea of like how that instructional time is broken down and sort of what we expect from you. It's like a 7-minute video. And then but the last modality that Allison's talking about is high flex. High flex is something that you probably heard of it before. It's not new. It's something that's been around since the early like 2000s. It's the where you integrate both the face-to-face and the synchronous online learning together. So the way that we do it, there are some that do like a high flex. It's like 3-prong where it's in person, online meeting and asynchronous. That's not how we do it. There's a set meeting day and time. The students either register for the in-person or the blended section. We cap the blended section at 10 so that our instructors are able to manage the online classroom. And basically, you're Zooming your class from the classroom that you're scheduled to teach in Workday. We've been using this primarily for evening classes, some classes at Pocono, some of the lower enrolled, like honors classes, some of the lower enrolled upper level electives that would get 3 or 4 students maybe in person, but we'd have to cancel them. So our students didn't have the opportunity to really take a lot of these courses. Well, now we added the online component to it where we get 4 or 5 online. Now we have a class of, roughly 8, 9, 10, and it's a full class. We don't have to cancel it. And so none of you have been asked to do that yet, But if you're interested in learning more about high flex, please feel free to reach out to me and we can talk.
Thank you. Any questions about modalities? Okay. All right, keys to success. Now, some of you have probably taught, college classes before, and there may be a few of you that this is your first college class that you're teaching. So first and foremost, if this is your very first college class you're teaching, don't tell your students. Wait until the last day of class and then tell them and thank them for being amazing and that it was your first class. Don't tell them on the first day. They don't need to know, right? Fake it till you make it. So that's one. Now, next is you need to check your email daily. Students use email to ask questions. They will ask, and it might not be your priority, but it's their priority. Make sure you set those boundaries in your syllabus as to when you will be checking email, not after 9 p.m., not over weekends, but I at least check it once during the weekend, especially if you have assignments due on Sunday. Like most of my assignments are due on a Sunday night. I'm going to have students emailing me on Sunday, asking questions about the assignment because they waited to the last minute. So just make sure that you set those boundaries, but check those emails daily. You're going to get some from students and then again, some from us or from the school or the secretaries. We all kind of collect student issues because when students complain about a professor, they come to us first, and then we try to resolve them before we have to escalate. And one of the top, I'd say 2 or 3, is that a professor isn't getting back to them. I keep emailing them, I haven't got back to them. Now, we do ask if the student has an in-person class, they should be going to the office hours or talking to the professor face-to-face. Online, it's a little bit more difficult, but they can still attend office hours. But again, if those office hours are when they work or have another class, we want to make sure that we're answering emails and then maybe setting up a time to speak with them. Make sure you choose the correct channel. Sometimes you can just answer an email, let them know. Sometimes it might need to be a different type of conversation and it needs to be a Zoom or a phone call. Talk to your academic dean. If you have questions, we have all been adjuncts. So we've all been there, kind of coming in like, oh, I don't know what I don't know. It's okay to ask us questions. We want students to be successful, but we want you to be successful and we want you to be comfortable. Get to know your students. This is so important, and let them get to know you. When I teach in person, I loved was they would walk in and I would, greet them by name. And maybe if I knew they had a job interview, ask them how that was going or how their short vacation break was or whatnot. So really make sure that you get to know your students and let them get to know you and talk a little bit about yourself. Online, there's great ways to do that as well. Making sure that you have like video discussions, discussion boards, so you can see each other and they can see who else is in the class and have those type of conversations going on. Be transparent in your grading. That means that you want to make sure that your assignments are very clear, the requirements are clear, and that you have rubrics to go with those. That way, there isn't a lot of question as to why you got a certain grade. Again, that's one of the kind of student issues that we get is that they didn't feel they were being graded fairly. And when you have rubrics and you have specific requirements, it's really easier for us to help kind of defend that as well. Making sure everything is in the syllabus. I think I've added at least every year, I'm adding something new to the syllabus because something had come up. I'm like, well, now I got to put that in the syllabus because it wasn't in there before. And now that's going to be a policy. AI, that's one thing that, again, we have it, it's here, it's not going away. So how are you going to deal with it in the classroom? Either you use it and you tell them what they can use and how they can use it, or you don't use it and you're very, very clear about that. My class, I let them use Grammarly. That is all. And so we do get some, even us, we've had students in our class where we know they've used AI. So if you think they might have, and you're not really sure what to do, go to your direct supervisor. Be more than happy to talk through that with you. Yeah, just be consistent in those policies. Be very, very clear as to what you're looking for. Be clear in how you want them to communicate with you. It's better to be harder and have kind of hard, tough policies in your syllabus and then come back a little bit. For example, I think I have no extra credit and no late work, but I have 2 life happens cards. I give a little bit more than that, and I do give extra credit, but not to the end. So better to have those tougher ones up front instead of kind of being lenient and then trying to rein them in because it's not going to happen. And then we just want you to shake up your teaching style. If you're teaching an in-person class for 121 minutes, we don't want you to be standing there for 115 minutes um, talking, right? This is not how we learn. And actually, this training is not a great model of that either. We are going to get into breakout groups in a little bit, but we want to make sure that we shake it up a little bit. Show videos. You can do that in the classroom. Do teach backs, assign groups a theory or concept and have them teach it back to the class. So shake things up a little bit. They really do. I know they say that they don't like working in small groups, but they like working in small groups. And then bringing things back and doing shout outs or whatnot. And then online, the same thing, making sure there are videos, using the video piece in Brightspace, discussion boards. Maybe every other week you have a video discussion board. So again, that they're seeing each other. So just try to change it up a little bit. Ads from the deans?
I'm just gonna keep going. Like every time you ask a question, I'm just gonna talk.
That's okay.
So do you remember the times that I didn't attend the orientations, Allison? You're missing those. So just two things. Like Allison said, firm but fair, right? Just set your firm expectations early. Um, you you can make things sound like policy that isn't really policy, right? Like you must be, so just be firm but fair. We've all talked probably in the interviews, like we understand like this isn't a 4-year institution where kids are just sitting in their dorm rooms. Sometimes things do happen. And working with our students is an important part of what it means to be a faculty member here. And so I'm not saying let them get away with everything, right? But you should be able to work with them in certain circumstances. And so just have your policies, be firm but fair. But there are times that you're going to need, I always say to my students, right? Write your life in pencil, right? Not pen. Because there's certain times that you need to just like readjust your own policies. So, and then the second thing is going back to the videos, which once again we all will have access to here real soon. We had just done one on why students complain about us. We keep yearly statistics on why students come to our office, what their biggest complaints are about. And at the very end of it, you can watch it. I'm sure you've heard it all before. We give little tips and everything. But at the very end of that video is a snippet, a little quote from an article that was in Inside Higher Ed, I think, in April, talking about why students stuck out of class, right? And it was looking at why students chose to stay with the class as opposed to withdrawing. And the quote, I'm going to butcher it because I don't know it by heart, but it was basically they stayed with classes where they felt their professor was willing to work with them, that they cared, that they were empathetic, that they were understanding. And they stuck out some difficult situations and classes. We're talking about retention and students finishing a degree or, finishing a course that's important for their program because of the professor. That was the primary reason why they were able to finish, right? So you guys are in a pretty influential role. Like if you don't understand that before now, you should really start to realize that. And so I always tell my students day one, no one here wants you to fail, right? There are so many times they feel that like, yeah, my professor's out to get me, right? No one's out to get you. No one wants to see you fail, right? We all want to see you do well. And so just, keep that in mind as you're entering the first couple weeks here. And I know Allison said it before, and I'm just going to keep reiterating. We are a resource, right? I've been teaching here since 2009. I've been in this position for just about 7 years. I've seen so many issues in my classes, in other people's classes. I've talked with students and faculty. We've seen a lot. We are a resource. Coming to us does not mean that you don't know what you're. Guess what? You don't always know what you're doing, right? And that's okay. Like we want you to learn. I always tell my students all the time, Allison, I'm just going to hijack your whole meeting here.
You're fine.
I tell them all the time, you learn more by being wrong, right? And than you do by being right. Like you grow in that sense. I always give the example that I one of my first years of teaching, I was talking about Nat Turner's rebellion in South Carolina. And one of my students was like, that wasn't in South Carolina. And I was like, damn it, everything was in South Carolina. It wasn't, it was in Virginia, right? Guess what? I remember that because I was wrong, right? And so yeah, it's okay to not know everything right away. We have experience. Don't be afraid to lean on us.
Yeah. And we're also sometimes, you think that like, okay, this is the decision I would like to make, but I want to bounce it off someone. We're here for that too. Okay. All right. So we do have an evaluation of instructors. So your dean or direct supervisor or someone of that nature will observe you in your first semester that you are teaching. It is not a drive-by. They will reach out to you. They'll set up a day and time because we don't want it where people are doing group work. We actually want to see you teaching. If you have the Com 101 class, please don't let it be when the students are delivering speeches. So really make sure that it's a time when you're actually teaching some content. So we'll do that the first semester and then it rotates and we observe all of the adjuncts and they're kind of on a 1.5 year, like every third semester, you will get evaluated, but it's always done in your first semester. The second type of evaluation will be through what's called class climate, and that's through the students, and it is online, and it's at the end of whatever term you're teaching. So you might be teaching a 7-week or a 10-week or 14-week. So it'll be at the end of whatever that term is. It's hard to get students to fill this out. Now, if you're in person, you can actually say, everyone take out your phone, fill out the survey, right? I mean, that's pretty easy. But when you're an online asynchronous, it's really hard. I said I don't give extra credit, but I do, and I do it through Class Climate. All of their responses are anonymous. We have no idea who says what or who filled it out. However, we do have access to a dashboard, so we know what percentage of the class has filled it out. So I set up goals. If the class gets to 60%, the entire class gets 20 points. If they get to 75%, they get 40 points. Now my class is 1,030 points. So 20 points is they missed a few quizzes and that might make it up, or it might make up a discussion board or two. So it's not anything huge, but for some, it could be the difference between a C- and a C, or an A- and an A. This summer, I had 2 7-week courses, and one class got to 73%, and the other class got to, or it was 71%, and the other class got to 83%. So that's amazing. Now, what do we do with these tools, with both the observation from your supervisor and the students? It's great, valuable learning tools. You might be doing something that you didn't realize that you were doing that could be corrected. It's also sometimes I learn from observing and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to totally steal that and bring that into my class because that was a really cool activity. But for the online, looking at what students say, again, we can take things with a grain of salt. There's always that one student that's going to put ones all the way down and in a speech class say, what didn't you like about the class? I hate, giving speeches. Well, not going to change that. That's part of the class. That's the curriculum. But when you have 2 or 3 students that maybe point out, Brightspace was hard to navigate. I was confused. I didn't know how to find assignments, or this specific assignment was confusing. I will go back in. I'm like, how can I make this better? How can I make it clear? So it's really helpful for me. Then you have those comments again. I like to wear polka dots, as those of you on the camera know. I don't have any on today, but it's usually at least 3 or 4 days a week. I had a student that said I wore polka dots too much. Yeah, not changing that. So when we read through some of these, because we will have access to your evaluations, we understand that we've got some of those students, but what we're really looking for are some trends and also things to highlight on what you're doing well. If your students are consistently saying, my teacher was approachable, always responded to email, for that, keep doing the good work. So many times we were told what we're doing wrong and need to be corrected. And so no one tells us what we're doing well. And we want to make sure we continue to do those things. So those are the 2 pieces, the 2 evaluations that we have that, again, we feel are very valuable. Patrick, you want a Bogart? I'm just kidding.
Can I just say
Yeah.
something, Allison? It's not nearly going to be as fun as Patrick, but
Yeah, please, Robin.
I just want to reiterate what you said, or I don't know if that's the right word tonight. It's a long day, but I know when I observe adjuncts, I'm always stealing stuff from them, you know. So don't think it's going to be this horrible experience, and you're just gonna it's going to be ugly. It's to me it's a really great collaborative tool because we get to share, we get to see what y'all are doing, and we can say, hey, that's really cool. And the same thing with the student evaluations. I can honestly tell you when I get mine saying it's back, I wait like 2 days because I'm a nervous wreck, and I go right to the what didn't you like, and I take it to heart. I'm like, okay, I need to fix this. I need to. So when you look at the evaluations, look at the good and look at the not so good, and actually make changes. Allison, I know not the polka dots, that's not going to work, right? But there's
Right.
something there you can change that makes sense. Take it, because the students, like you said, Allison, they don't really want to do these things. So if they're taking time to do it, like, really understand what they're saying and see where you can include it if it's applicable.
Yeah.
And if I
Spring,
can just jump in really quickly, I'm so
oh yeah,
sorry,
go ahead, Iris.
Allison. I just want to say that this is an opportunity for professional and personal growth. It's really meant to help you in the long run in regards to what's working and maybe some professional insight into what maybe you may be able to tweak. So with that being said, we can really tell when you prep your students because you know we're coming. So at the end of the day, that doesn't necessarily help you out if we're coming in and your students have been peppered and prepared for your assistant dean or your deans on their way. So just take it as an opportunity to grow, and also it's a professional development.
Yeah, thank you. And Spring does a lot of the, actually all of the COM 101 observations. Did you want to say anything about your experience with it?
Just to mirror what everyone else has said, the other thing that I also would recommend is we can then give you other resources or other professional development that the school is offering that might be of interest to you. Not that you're inadequate, but building on, or so that you could share those. If you're teaching online the way that I do it, because it's not like we come in and sit, it's this conference, right? Like, let's Zoom, let's talk about sort of the experience you're having, what it looks like for online students. So we do both of those pieces together. I think everyone I've ever encountered at Northampton is looking like a partner for you, not as this overlord who's trying to decide things for you to do instead. We just want to be a resource generally.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this isn't a gotcha moment. This is a how can we help and support, and you're doing an amazing job, and I'm stealing this stuff from you.
You guys are selling it all wrong. I'm the overlord. I'm coming in and
Patrick.
sorry.
You have a way of cutting off his mic, Allison?
I know, I'm going to mute him. Okay, so now we're going to break out into groups. We only have a couple of slides left, so we're nearing the ends. This has been fantastic. We're going to break out into in-person and online. I'm going to do 2 rooms. Breakout room 1 will be in-person or hybrid. So if you're in-person or hybrid, you're going to go into room 1. If you are online or blended, you're going to go into room 2. And I'm going to get us into rooms. One moment, please. Okay, and they should be up. So again, just choose your room. Room 1, again, is in person, hybrid, and room 2 is online or blended. So please go ahead and join your rooms.
I did not see the thing pop up.
Let's see. Who
There
just
it is.
said?
Okay.
You see it?
Got
Okay.
it.
All right. All right, I'm going to wait for everyone to get in. I think everyone is. Elisa is in person. I'm going to move her to room 1. All right, Iris, Patrick, Robin, you do what you want. I asked Patrick to, in like 10, we're going to take about 10 minutes, and then he's just going to kind of pop in and let me know how the other groups are doing. But you can pop into any room that you want to, and I'm running the first one. I mean, the online
I
one.
was like, there's only 2 online.
All right. So anyway, I gotta go. I'm going to join room 2.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay. Okay, bye. I'm gonna go to group 1.
I was going to do one too. One as well.
I'll pick one that you guys are not in. I need to actually go back into the room because his phone's about to die. So I'm logging in on the computer. Patrick, do you have access to the waiting room by chance?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm jumping in right now. I don't know if you see me in there.
Why
Perfect.
can't I?
Thank you.
Yeah. 1 second. Why is it not?
Thank you. All right. So you guys are going into 1. Allison is in breakout room.
Be available anywhere after the session.
The video of the PowerPoint will be sent to everybody, but there's a 1-page handout that goes with it too, which is like I print it and keep it in my folder, which is like your log on, like the big things. And remember, we're going to send you, not me, Patrick, really, like a million emails of don't forget to check verification, like participation and verification. Don't forget mid-semester, like those things too. So it's not like we're telling you today, and if you forget along the spectrum, the timeline here, that you're fired or something. So we, try to help you out there. I'm just going to show you real quickly my course.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
No.
Yeah, I'm working with the blueprint that I have. This is a sociology course, Principles of Sociology. And it contains a lot of content from a previous, I guess, iteration of the course on Blackboard. And my question is, occasionally, like there's an activity or an assignment or whatever that I'm not going to be using, or I'm modifying. Do I simply leave it and then hide it? Or is it okay for me just to delete it?
You can absolutely delete it.
Oh, fine. Okay, good.
Yep.
Right.
I would just be ready when you meet as like your department, just to say like, is this comparable or compatible, like that sort of departmental issue. But absolutely, yeah, Northampton very specifically leans into the fact that we have full faith in your ability to teach. We want you to put yourself into the course, right? So Lewis, if that other assignment is silly compared to your expertise or what you've done, do like really that specialization and your interests is really what the experience we want to offer our students.
Thank you.
And ask along the way. Feel free to interrupt, please. I just real quickly, here's what Brightspace looks like. Our instructional designers are fantastic. Reach out to them with any question you may encounter at all. They can sort of walk you through it. Once you get started here, I just want to show you a couple of things. The first is we recommend that you give your contact information right away on the landing page. I also give it to the students in a million other ways too. But, I can't come to class. What should I do? My policy is I need an email before class if you're running late or absent, not after class that you couldn't make it. So putting it there is helpful. You are required, even on person, to upload your syllabus. That goes right here. And then we sort of have this housing for everybody's syllabi collectively. But you should probably, my comm people, we have a template for you that has everything in here. Patrick provided the necessary things that we should all be having in our syllabi, so that students know what our policies are as an institution, and sort of resources and things that matter. We recommend in your syllabus, I'll start at the top, sorry, to have how to contact you, your office hours, those sorts of things. We also recommend a sort of timeline, of what sort of is expected or what the meeting will be about, so that students have an idea. Going back, so just to give you an idea of week one, or I'm just going to give you an idea from my point of view. For me, week one.
Spring, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a quick question or a couple of
Absolutely.
quick
Yeah,
questions?
please interrupt. Absolutely.
The first one is there a template of the syllabus that's available for us to modify with just the essential information that
Yes,
will?
there is. Yeah.
Okay.
Your direct supervisor would have probably or will be sending that to you since, to be honest, most people don't have syllabi on the radar quite yet. Or you could reach out to me. I'm the only spring employed here, so my name comes up first.
I can send it to you tomorrow too. Okay.
Yeah. Go
Oh,
ahead,
and
Mason. Oh, go second follow-up
yes,
question. Yeah.
yes. Another quick question. In terms of those students who email you that they can't make it to class,
Yeah.
have you had anybody email you about 3 minutes before class? And if so, how do you treat that?
Yeah, I say that if it's before class starts at 9:30, for instance, if it's before a class, that's fine. You follow it. It's an intro to comm class. So I stick real hard on the let's communicate. But if
Okay.
it's the like traffic or a flat tire or I can't find a parking, whatever it is, if you tell me before, that you're going to be 5 minutes late or whatever it may be, the way that I operate is that way. But I am much more of a stickler of time than other instructors are. I guess it sort of depends on what your classroom management style is. I'm very much that I start exactly at the time that class starts and I go exactly till the end of class. And I sort of accumulate time, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Does that
Thank you.
answer everything?
Yes.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Mason.
So the question I have is another syllabus question.
Yeah.
So when I look at the template that Patrick sent me, it seems easy to do, but I guess I'm also kind of psyching myself out in terms of wanting to tweak it, how I want to tweak it for my class. When it came to you taking the syllabus template for your first adjunct class, how did you go about, tweaking it for it? Did you just tear it down to the studs, or you just maybe add a paragraph or two and a note or two there?
Yeah, my opinion is always add a smidge every time each semester and build up what's happening. I find it to be overwhelming if you believe that you have to teach everything from scratch or have and discussion boards as well can be in attendance. So if you have noticed that a student hasn't done anything in 2 weeks, send an email. Hey, Renisha, I see that you haven't, turned anything in. Is everything okay? How can I help support you? Do you need extra time? Let me know what I can do. And then if it's crickets for another couple days, reach out again and say, I haven't heard back from you. According to our policy, I'm going to need to, if I don't hear back from you by X date, I will have to withdraw you from the class.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Yes.
So how strict are you with that? Is it adamant if they go 2 weeks, MIA, no questions about it, they have to be dropped?
No.
Or is there
No.
some room? Can we?
No. But I do let them know if they've missed 2 weeks.
Okay.
It's a 14-week. If it's a 14-week class, they can catch up. But a 7-week class, they've now missed 4 weeks.
Okay.
They're not catching up. It is your preference. I probably give more time than some. About sometimes it'll be like 4 weeks. I'm like, hey, I remember you. Like, what's going on? There are certain groups of students that we, and I know this may not be equitable, but we may not withdraw. International students, if they're in a certain credit, and if they are withdrawn from the class, they lose their visa.
Right.
Students that live in the dorm, which our international students do, if they go under a certain credit, they're going to get kicked out of the dorm. So I will try to find out those things because at the end of the day, they can stay in the class. They're going to get an F, more than like if they just stop doing work. But if they're one of those students, I don't want them to be homeless and I don't want them to be kicked out of the country. So that's how, and those departments and services will ask you as well. And if you're not sure if a student is international, hopefully you will know, because in the beginning they're saying, hey, I'm from Poland. I've had Poland, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Ukraine, Myanmar. We have Myanmar students, some that are actually living in the dorm, and then a few online. So all over the place, right?
But you might have an online student that's actually on campus, or that lives in there. You just never know. So if you don't know if they're international, you can reach out to me, or her name is Patty. Iris, what is Patty's last name? It's like Boobalis. Boobalis.
It's Bolus. Patty Bolus.
Betty Bolus. Thank you, Patrick. I didn't know you were on. So you can reach out to her and ask. But and then for dorms, again, you can ask me because I can see if they're in the dorm or not. But a lot of times, if you when you reach out to the student and say, "Look, I'm going to have to withdraw you," then they start panicking and they're like, "No, no, 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 this is going to happen." And so have a conversation, try to get them on Zoom, or talk with them about, what's next best steps. And if there is a plan to be successful, but if they've missed so much, let them know what those consequences are going to be. Like they just won't be able to catch up.
Right.
Okay. But yeah, it is your policy. Some are super strict. They're like, there's like a math calculation, and they hit that math calculation. They're like, withdraw, no conversation. And empathy and grace is what we're trying, to.
Right. I'm definitely more, sometimes I'm too flexible. That's why I wanted to ask, like, I mean, granted, if a student does all the work in the last week of class, odds are they're not going to pass anyway, I would imagine, because they have no feedback from previous weeks.
Correct.
So it wouldn't be quality work anyway if it's so many weeks submitted.
Yeah. And so for discussion, so there are two things that, again, this is my policy in my class. They cannot do late work. They can't turn content reviews in late, and they can't do discussion boards late, because that was what we were talking about in that week. And you're responding to someone's discussion board from 2 weeks ago. They're not reading that, and no one's reading yours. So those are the two are absolute no's. Others, like applied task, I will allow. And then speeches, it really just depends on what the heck is going on, because for online, for us, we're going to use PitchVantage. You're going to learn about that later. But they do it, they have to get their own audience. And if they don't have 4 in their audience, and you all as well, need to provide another opportunity to do it, to give it to you and the classmates. So I usually do one like morning, like at 10 a.m. And then I'll do one at like 7 o'clock at night on different days. And it's the week that it's due, not the week after it's due, because then everyone's going to sign up for that. And then you're doing live speeches for an hour and a half. And, so anyway, so yeah, and we can talk more about those types of things. But, if something should happen, it's, pretty good excuse for whatever reason, like then there might be another thing. Spring, typically at the very end of the semester, she'll have one speech makeup day. But the way that the class is set up, if they don't do an informative speech and they don't do a persuasive speech, they can't pass the class.
Right.
Because the points are pretty high for those.
And for the nature of the class, it makes sense. I mean, it's intro to
And also, if they don't have an outline, I'm not.
I have to write a note to myself sometimes to do it, but make sure if you're going to change it, it's fine, but just let them know so you're all on the same page.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off what Robin said, there are classes that I fail at, and I've been teaching a long time. And I come back and say, so that didn't work out. Let's try it again, right? It's okay to make the mistake and to kind of keep going, or it seems like this isn't really working. How can we do this better? That sort of piece, I think, is it's okay, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. I promise. It doesn't have to be perfect every minute, every lesson, all of the time. Patrick, how are we doing on time?
We are right around, I think they're wrapping up over there.
All right.
In the online one. So I think we're getting close to coming back. Was it a good discussion?
I hope so.
I hope so. Okay. So if you guys are done, then let's bring it back.
Any final questions before we go back to the big group?
I think it's just a matter, at least for me, a matter of just not psyching myself out with like the onboarding stuff. I feel confident. I know everybody else was confident about teaching their subject because they're passionate about it. But obviously the setting up, the background, the logistics can be, overwhelming. None of us really like paperwork, like filing taxes and things of that nature. Obviously, those are all challenges, but we do enjoy what we teach, and it's a matter of just showing that in a official and professional capacity.
Absolutely. And I found, like I said, the stronger the relationships are that you build with the students in your classroom, the less you often have to worry about those sort of, oh my gosh, did I put that in the syllabus? Did I do that? You know, kind of all of those pieces. If they know they can come to you and you have clear communication and office hours and email and kind of all of that, then it's smooth sailing.
Or it's not. I mean, I'm
More
thinking as you,
often than not, it
I
is
know, but
sailing.
like, I mean, Robin, you'll be able to say, I have never had a perfect semester. And I've been teaching college since 2006. So we're almost 20 years. And so, like, it's never, like you're never going to have a perfect semester. You're going to have the ups and downs. So just understand that. You know what I mean? Like, if you're aiming for perfection, you're setting your bar too high. Like, so take a deep breath, right?
Like for me, some of the best are the relationships I built with students. I have a dual enrollment student, and she couldn't wait to show me her prom dress. And I'm like, it's
Mhm.
gorgeous. Then she changed it and she had to show me that. She also tried Tide Pods. So I was like, don't tell me that. So, I mean, it's a little bit of a maternal thing comes out with my students sometimes, but it's really important to let them talk too, let them be heard, give them a voice. Like Spring and Alice and Patrick, like just talking at them is just not, it's not cool. It doesn't work. So let them stand back and let them talk a little bit, and then you're going to keep them, and they're going to want to stay, and they're going to want to be in class.
Lewis, how can we help? Do you have a question?
Lewis?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I do have a question. Could you just elaborate a little bit on the office hours for those of us? Well, in my case, I'm teaching hybrid, so I've got most of the week they're asynchronous, and then it's the one day, Friday, I think, that's in person. Could you just elaborate a little bit on the office hours and how they're scheduled and what
Yeah.
you?
So, um, we ask that you have one set office hour a week. And so please do not put by appointment only. Okay. Our expectation is that you set an office hour. No one says you have to be in the adjunct suite, right? We have an office space for you. It's College Center 270. You can mark it down and say that's where my office is going to be. There's plenty of room. You'll have a mailbox. You have if you want to do it then, if you want to do it online, fine. You're going to do your office hours on Zoom.
I'm going to
But they
interrupt
have,
Patrick. It's not polite,
yeah.
but I'm going to do it anyway. My nighttime instructors, no one teaches before or after you for those 3-hour classes. So you can always kind of buffer in that room, in that space, rather than walking up to a whole new building in the dark and then coming down. Sorry, Patrick, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, but our requirement in AHSS, like here, and I think it's across the board, is you should have a set hour. Mine's every Wednesday at 10 a.m. It's been like that for 3 years. And that way, and I'm just gonna tell you, so when we look at student complaints, my professor never responds to me. They come to my office. What's the first thing I do? Go talk to your professor. Go to their office hours. They don't have office hours. Then I pull your syllabus and it says by appointment only. And now the student has like a one up on me, right? Because they get to be like, see, I emailed them to meet online and they don't respond to emails. I want to be able to look at your syllabus and say, their office hours are Wednesday at 10. Is there like, can you attend that? If not, have you requested to meet at a different time? Um, so one set office hour for each, 3 credits that you're teaching is basically what the contract stipulates. I really, if you set one and then the rest is by appointment, because we know you're going to meet with students outside of it, that's fine with us.
And that could be virtual or in person.
Yep. Just
Okay.
make sure the Zoom link is in your syllabus. Say, I'll be meeting, Mondays at 4. Here's the link. But I need to see a set day and time.
Okay, thank you.
And just in case, when you go to NCC Go and you log into the Zoom interface there, and you can set up your personal meeting room. That's, Zoom at NCC, and you have the whole thing.
Oh, okay, so we're not using personal Zoom for this. We're using, okay.
I mean, I wouldn't recommend it because like then the students are logged in. You have like if you're gonna write, professor whatever, any of your information, it'll all be there too. So
Thank you.
Okay. Well, if you guys are all done, then we can bring you back. We got two more slides, and then I will stay behind for any questions that you have that maybe you didn't have answered, or you don't want to, we'll be around. So if we need time, we'll be around. So I will end this, and then we will. Yep. And then we'll be back in 30 seconds. Look, I don't see Allison. I think we lost our host for this evening.
She's finishing up in the other room, Patrick.
I was like, she is, I see. Mm.
All right, everyone's back. We only have a few more minutes. I hope you all learned some new things. I'm going to share my screen one more time. And get back to here. All right, so sources of information. We have our adjunct resource center, or what's called the ARC, and that's what Patrick lives and breathes the ARC, the adjunct. Actually, it's I need to change it. It's the academic resource center because anyone that teaches uses it. I'm going to show you how to find that in just a minute. This is a place where you're going to find the academic calendar. You're going to find when you get paid. So what weeks you get paid, kind of important, right? You're going to find the template that the syllabus template that you need to be using. You also will find what we call Main Street. I'm going to show you what that is. Really everything that you need to know and find is going to be found on the ARC. When it's considered a course, like it's a shell, and so you all would be assigned to it like you're in the class, and that's how Patrick is able to send out the email. So he'll send out reminder emails. It might be an event that's happening. It might be like we might have an art speaker or something else that's going on, needing volunteers. Those types of things. He's going to be sending emails out, reminders about verification of participation, and so on and so forth. We also have what's called This Week at NCC. During the school year, they come out daily. In the summer, it's one time a week. These are also important. Again, it's one of those things I will open and just kind of glance through to see if there's anything that catches that I need to know. But again, it might be something about sports events. We have a fantastic theater show. I'm a little bit biased, but it is amazing. So check those out. Try to, emerge things with your classes, especially if you teach English. We have lots of speakers on campus. There'll be information about that. We have a Spartan race. We have like a marketplace and a farmer's market. So lots of things going on. And so you want to make sure that you kind of go through those NCC emails. And then, of course, for the 122nd time, your direct supervisor is a source of information. So I'm going to switch over to show you how to find the ARC. Did your screen switch over to the Northampton site? Yes. Okay, good.
Yep.
All right. So you're going to go to log in. And again, if you don't have a Northampton email yet, you cannot do this. So once you have your NCC email, you'll be able to do this. You're going to click on your login faculty, and then we're going to go into Brightspace. But this again is where you're going to find, Workday, Brightspace, and other things, and Starfish. We talked about that. So you're going to click on Brightspace. It's going to go to your landing page. And then training is where you're going to find the training for Brightspace, but resources, that is where you're going to find some really great resources. So we have our Academic Resource Center. I have other things that you may not have. The Faculty Lounge is another place that people post stuff, and some professional development opportunities will be in the Faculty Lounge. There's information on AI Community of Practice. If you're looking and interested in adding that to your class, how do you do it? How do you teach them to be ethical consumers of AI? And there might be some stuff on opening days. But we're going to look at the Academic Resource Center very quickly. If I get my mouse over here. It is, we're moving it over from Blackboard, and it was a little bit more of an effort. So we still have some work to do. So it's somewhat under construction. However, we do have some good stuff up here. This is where Patrick, so he sent a message on June 10th. So if you couldn't find the email, whatever, you can always come here to see what the latest announcement was. You've got fall 2025 resources. We still have to add your pay dates in here, but it does have the academic calendar and it has the syllabus template. So those are already right here. You just click on them and they will pop up. Main Street. So Main Street is every department that we have on the college campus in alphabetical order. So if a student is asking you about advising or transfer services, this is where you can find information to tell them. They don't have access to this, you do. If you have questions or need some help at the bookstore, here's the CTLT. Central duplicating, that is where you can put in an order to get things copied. If you are on Bethlehem campus, you can actually go in person and fill out the form, put in the date that you want to pick it up. You can go pick it up, or they'll put it in your mailbox. Adjunct offices will have mailboxes again for in-person adjuncts. And then if you're online or can't get to campus, if you scroll down to the bottom, it has the forms and you can submit it online and then go pick it up or have it delivered. Got counseling services, really, I mean, absolutely everything. The Learning Center, again, I offer extra credit if they go to the Learning Center to get help with their outline, just kind of directs them to get some help. So anyway, some of these are under construction. We're getting there, but we will have it ready to go and probably in the next 2 weeks, Patrick, would you say? 1 week.
No, 2 days.
Whoa.
The hope is August 1st. I know Ashley and I are gonna put in some work here. And if you're not, I'm gonna take the list of everyone that's here today, make sure that you're added to the ARC, and then I'm hoping to send an email on August 1st saying, hey, this is it's now up and running. And if you don't have the ARC in your Brightspace by next week, reach out to me and I'll make sure to add you. Okay.
Thank you, Patrick. All right. And then last but not least, what's next? Meet with your direct supervisor for any questions that came up that may be specific to you. So reach out to them and ask them those questions so we can help you. We have an adjunct kickoff event. It's not an adjunct kickoff. It's actually, sorry, it is. Yeah, it's adjunct kickoff events for all adjuncts. It's going to be at the Bethlehem campus or via Zoom. It is Thursday, August 14th from 6:30 to 8. Now, in order to get a ticket, you have to do a little something. Patrick talked about the videos. So we've been doing videos now for 3 years. We have created under 10-minute videos. Most of them, I think, are 5 minutes or under. And they're just little snippets of just helpful hints on how to do things and how to get some things done. Some of them are pretty funny. We try to be entertaining. The one that the student complaint one was redone by Jeff Armstrong, and it is by far the best video. It's so, so good. Anyway, you have to watch. I don't know how many, Patrick, they need to watch in order to get your ticket to the event. It will be sponsored by Fegley's Brew Works, so there will be some adult beverages there. We will have some snacky food as well. And we're going to talk about the videos a little bit up front. And then at the back end, we're going to talk about the bells and whistles of Brightspace. And we're going to do a roundtable thing just to learn some new things for Brightspace. So Patrick, how many videos do they need to watch?
Yeah, so it's 7. And this year we used to have you do a survey at the end of the like on Google Doc uh, or Microsoft Forms, but now you're just gonna do a quick exit survey through Edpuzzle. So you watch the video and then it just pops up. What did you take away? What'd you like? What you didn't? Boom. As soon as you do 7 videos, I'll keep track of it. You're you got your ticket punched. You can show up, free food, free drinks. We're just going to talk about the we spent the first part of the evening talking about these videos, what you learned, what you liked, and then the second part of the evening talking about Brightspace.
And then again, just have a fantastic semester. That is, I mean, when you're having fun, your students are having fun. When you're engaged, they're engaged in their learning. And when you're learning, they're learning, right? So we just really want to make sure that, you know, you have the tools to be successful. And now you have the resources in order to do that. So my very last slide is, does anyone have any questions that they need to ask before we let you out 33 minutes early?
Yeah.
I had a quick question, Allison, on something
Sure.
that you. So you mentioned central duplicating. Is that campus specific?
So yes and no. If you're on the Pocono campus, you have to go through the Bethlehem duplicating thing. So Pocono's try to be a little bit kind of pre-prepared, right? So if you know you're going to need copies on the first day, get those in. I mean, they can probably do it in 2 days. They will deliver them to Pocono. You don't have to pick them up in Bethlehem. It's just that that's where the duplicating office is. We did have one at Pocono at one time, but now everything's at Bethlehem. So I'm pretty sure they can do it in 48 hours. But just to be safe, I would try to get those things in, you know, about 4 or 5 days in advance, and then they will they'll bring it to the adjunct office to your mailbox on in the Pocono campus. But everything else at Bethlehem is at Bethlehem.
I had the same question about mailboxes, which you also mentioned.
So mailboxes, you will have, if you are an in-person, which you are, and if you're teaching it, you should have a mailbox at the adjunct. I believe they're Iris might be able to answer this, or Robin, where the adjunct mailboxes are at Pocono.
Yeah, they're over by our academic suite on your way to not the 102 adjunct office. It was the secondary office. You actually pass it on the way to that office. But everyone's name is in alphabetical order. And when you go to your mailboxes for our in-person adjuncts, you have extra materials. Karen's very good about putting pieces, extra paper there and expo markers as well for you.
Awesome. And then one last question.
Sure.
I tried downloading the D2L app and then signing into Brightspace, but I was not able to get into it. Is that because I'm not on Brightspace yet? Would you know?
Do you have a Northampton email address?
I do.
Yeah, I put in the request to Kevin to add him to
Yeah.
work. That's probably a Selassie. So
Okay.
yes. So
So
you'll be
All right. So just give it some time.
Did you download Pulse? The app Pulse? Is it called
The
Pulse?
orange one, yes. Yes, I
Yes.
did.
Okay. I just want to make sure it was the right app. So that is
Yep.
the correct app. Give it another day. Robin, if you'll just double check that he has an email address, because
No, he does.
he does.
Definitely does. It's just because I have to add him. Kevin has to add him into Workday for his classes.
Yep. He's not
That's
at
what it
Workday.
is. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha. That's what it
Right.
is.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I put that in, I believe it was yesterday. So it should be soon.
Yeah, I would say probably by the end of the day tomorrow. So if you don't have it by Friday, yeah, depending on what's in the spreadsheet, we have one person that does all of that stuff manually. So I usually give him 2 days, depending on what the list looks like for things to get
No
changed.
problem. Just making sure I wasn't missing anything. So
Nope,
that's
nope,
good.
no. But I'm glad that you downloaded the app. I have it on my phone too, and I'm able to do a lot more stuff through the Pulse app, grading wise than I was with the Brightspace app. Or Blackboard app. I really, there were so many things I couldn't even grade or do in that app. So Pulse is a good one to have.
Okay.
Lewis, so you have your hand up.
Yeah, thank you. What is the process for gaining access to or using the NCC Zoom?
I will show you quickly. Oh, I'm already showing. Okay, so I'm going to show you quickly. So you're going to go to your logins, faculty, staff. It's a couple more clicks than I'd like, but they changed some things. You're going to go into logins and resources. So this very top tab.
Okay.
Oh no, there's still more. Scroll down to other systems.
Other, yes.
And then on the right-hand side, this is all in alphabetical order. You're going to click Zoom, and then it might say sign in or whatever. Whatever it says, click on it. And since you don't have an account, it should take you through the steps to get an account.
Okay.
Okay. If you get stuck, that would then reach out to the help desk. But that's what my adjuncts have always done, and they haven't had any issues with signing up that way.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Real quick, Celeste, you're in Workday, so you should be able to get into Brightspace and such. Well, what's today? Is today the 30th? I don't know what
Today's the
day.
30th. Today's the 30th.
Okay. Brightspace, it updates every night about 3:30 in the morning, so try it again tomorrow. And if you don't see anything, just shoot me an email, okay?
Any other questions?
Oh, I was on mute. I was saying thanks, Robin. And nice to see you too.
I'll hang out. Thank you all very much for spending an hour and a half with us on a Wednesday evening. Really appreciate it, and hope you learned some things. Again, that you know that you are supported. It's a great work environment. I call it a work family. Everyone is so supportive and helpful. And that's why we're all here and we love it. So hopefully you will as well. So good luck in whatever term and class that you're teaching, and hope to see you around, and hope to see you at the adjunct kickoff, because that's always a fun time to really meet a lot of people and if you haven't been on campus much, to kind of get a walk around, look at the adjunct office, and kind of get a quick tour. Okay. All right. I'll stick around for anyone that has any questions. If not, we'll see you around. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice night.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's not that I have a quick question. For some reason, I went to add the adjunct kickoff to my calendar, and it just sent out an email to everyone for some reason.
Oh, it's okay. It is okay.
Thank you for taking that initiative and just organizing this yourself.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
I don't even know how that happened, because in my phone, I was just adding it to my calendar. And then I don't know. And then
I heard you want to do the opening remarks.
No.
It's like,
hey, now Carmen, they all have it on there, so that's great. Saves us a step. No, we'll send another one out.
I don't even know how that happened. I didn't even know that my NCC thing was synced to the calendar yet. So that's something new that I learned. Good.
In all fairness, you are fine, because as soon as you canceled it, it's going to automatically remove off of their calendars once they select the button to remove it. So you're fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because I saw that it went in and I'm like, oh, and then it got canceled right away.
I deleted it. I'm like, what is going on? And then
no, you're okay.
You just delete it just in case.
No worries. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Patrick, you can stop recording.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. I want to share something.
Oh, what the heck?
That's what I'm saying. Is that okay?
Yes.